This week's episode of This Is My Bourbon Podcast is brought to you by Distilled Experiences. You can find your exclusive Kentucky Bourbon Trail experience at distilledexperiences.com. And if you decide to do a public tour, you can use the code MyBourbonPodcast for 15% off all of those public tours. One more time, distilledexperiences.com, and then you can use the code MyBourbonPodcast for 15% off all public tours. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of This Is My Bourbon Podcast. I am Perry, the host, and the guy who's sitting across the table from me is not the host. That's Chad, who is the host of It's Bourbon Night.
Chad, the guest.
I really nailed that intro.
Nailed it.
Absolutely 100% nailed that.
Yeah.
Chad, how are you?
I'm great.
Good. You want to drink some bourbon?
Yeah.
While we...
I mean, you got some out.
I got a few.
I feel like it would
out. Yeah.
be rude if we didn't.
So we start every episode with a segment called Flying Blind. And this is me flying blind myself, too, because I have this unmarked sample bottle, and I cannot tell you for the life of me what's in there. So Chad and I are going to play Sherlock a little bit and see if we can deduce what
we could have guesses, but I don't guess we'll ever really know if we're right.
No. But, I mean, maybe we'll just encourage people to... write on their sample bottles.
Oh, I wish they would. Brian and Tammy are really good at that.
They are, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So is...
not even just what's in the bottle, but like who sent it, which is awesome.
Oh, really?
Sometimes.
That is nice of them.
Yeah.
Well, they also sent me some samples along with Joseph Brazo,
Mm-hmm.
and we are going to be tasting those a little bit later on, but I don't...
Oh, I know what this is.
Just by smelling it.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, okay. All right.
Does smell familiar.
It does.
Can you put like a wanted poster or like a milk carton type of thing out there so people can be like, oh, I recognize that bottle.
But it's just...
It's a 2-ounce sample bottle.
It
That
is.
helps anybody. It's a black top. It's clear.
It is. You can actually see the bourbon inside, if it is bourbon.
Well, I was talking about the bottle.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know, but never mind.
Oh, I get you.
Yeah.
But you were holding up your glass.
I know, because I was also looking at it while I was talking to you.
Very confused.
I was multitasking.
I'll say this. It smells LE. It smells...
You think?
Yeah, I think it has that great quality, or maybe bordering. It might not be limited, but it smells...
Limitish.
Yes, it smells something of quality. Oh, but it doesn't so much have the taste.
No.
I like the nose better.
Is this a
Grape?
grape and bananas? Is this a Brown Foreman? I ask you like you're going to know the answer to the question.
Unfortunately, I don't have the envelope with the winner in it.
No, I don't have any idea. But it does kind of go a little Brown Foreman-y.
It does. Could be. It's not like that's the one distillery that I feel like we could definitely know with some certainty.
Yeah.
If it was a little bit more like blatantly, we could be like, yep, it's definitely Brown Foreman. It's either Old Forester or it's Woodford or it's Jack Daniels.
I just don't know, man.
Have you ever tasted their mash?
Like just straight out of the... I have not, actually.
It's like, oh, yeah, oh. I mean, it's just so like, I get it.
Yeah.
Because the mash is just like...
Sweet
and
cornbread.
even the tour guide's like, you get that banana on there. And I'm like, yeah, it smacks me in the face.
Yeah, see, second sip, I'm really picking up the banana.
There's...
Your pipes are calling.
That's a road.
Danny boy. Oh. I know he's dancing around, but I feel like we're in the same boat.
Yeah, it's also kind of dry and kind of dark sherry.
I know I've had this before.
Now
that's the pipes,
That
Colin.
was the pipes. Meant to turn that off before recording, but well.
Sound effects with Perry and Chad.
Yeah, that's right.
Sound effect 389. The pipes. No, it's not bad, but it does kind of. I think it kind of leans maybe just a hair younger.
Mm-hmm.
I think, but
the more time I'm spending with it, the more I'm like, thank you. Next.
Well, lucky for you, we've got plenty to thank you next.
Good.
So,
all right. So what is it?
I legitimately don't know.
I know.
I'm perplexed and sad.
Well, sorry,
which is
we
just kind of my general state.
Yeah.
But,
sorry we couldn't figure it out, listeners.
No, but let this be a lesson. Mark your sample bottles.
Oh man, I mean, preaching to the choir here. I have samples that I feel like have been in my possession too long, and two, there are ones that are labeled as to what they are, but not to who sent them.
Right,
and that makes me feel like super bad,
feel
super
way
bad.
Worse.
Yeah, just like so bad.
Yeah.
So I'm actually gonna start working on that. Going through some of these wonderful, wonderful samples, and yeah, I'm actually going to be on Whiskey Crusaders live show.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I think it's live. I'm going to be on their show. I can't remember Monday, so that might be live.
So by the time that is definitely a live stream.
Okay.
I've done their live before.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking it was their live, but then I was like, every time I'm being recorded, I get unsure of what I'm saying. And I think we're going to be doing non-Kentucky things.
Interesting.
So I have, thanks to awesome people, samples of a lot of non-Kentucky things. So I'll be drinking those.
Well, by the time this episode comes out, it will be 2 days removed.
Well, go watch the replay.
Now. So yeah, absolutely, go check it out. Chad, what have you been drinking? Stop.
You've become predictable. You've become predictable.
Look at him. He is the captain now. He is the host now.
No, look at me. Look at me. I am the host now.
I am Perry now.
I am Perry.
Anyway, what have you been drinking recently, Chad?
Well, speaking of things that are now out, we have a 107 proof Flight Fight that is out now. So we've been drinking 4 107 proofs. So we did the Weller Antique, the new Baker's Single Barrel, Pure Kentucky XO, and Old Rip Van Winkle 10-year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that's what I've been drinking.
Yeah. I have not had a chance to watch that just yet. Sorry. More sound effects.
Well, not to pull back the curtain too much, but at the time of this recording, it's been out for a total of 2 hours. So
okay.
I harbor no ill. I don't feel bad about it. Ibbity.
Thanks, Porky Pig.
Yeah. Jeez. Actually, did that in the episode.
Did you?
When I was trying to reveal what one of Sarah's picks, was, and I was like, your bourbon, whatever, is it's Weller Antique. It's like, it's not even old anymore. I think that what had happened was she had put the dots on the bottom, and she had just written OWA.
Oh,
so like, it's Weller Antique. Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
What we just poured is actually something I've been drinking recently. I had a tour group the other day that was going to Buffalo Trace to do another Eagle Rare pick.
Lucky tour group.
It is actually the Annapolis Whiskey Society. Oh. Great group of guys, and they left me with this bottle from their last Eagle Rare pick.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what you think about it.
If you like your ride, tip your guide with whiskey.
Or dollar bills. Yeah.
Or dollar bills. Those spend too. Those can buy whiskey.
Yeah. I like the dollar bills. But, distilledexperiences.com.
Okay. It's got a pretty perfumey nose on it.
Yeah.
I was trying to lock down exactly what I was getting from it. Sort of like honeysuckle, maybe?
Yeah. Gardenia.
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 Gardenia. Yeah.
Neither of us have had much sleep recently.
No.
No, I don't dislike the nose by any means. I think it's quite good. Oh, by the way,
Yes.
so this group of guys, they were all like naturally bourbon fans, and
I would think so.
one of them, his name was Eric. He met you and Sarah at the Bourbon Affair Gala a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And he was looking at me going, "Why do I know you?" And he goes, "You were just on their live stream and you were refereeing them." And then casually later on, somebody gave me crap for wearing that referee jersey.
Wow.
Just in a passing comment. I was like, "Really, man?
Dang.
Really?"
How about that?
And he was a local boy too.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
I thought you wore that referee shirt.
I thought I did too.
Yeah.
But apparently it's a point of contention and jest
Oh man.
against me. And I'm not sure why.
A really interesting nose.
Yeah. The palate goes baking spice, though.
It does. It also goes kind of quick.
Yeah.
So I want to ask about this. Here on their single barrel sticker, they have "Damn the Torpedoes." Is that the right expression? I always thought it was "Man the Torpedoes." Have I just been hearing that wrong, misremembering it?
Couldn't tell you. It is a group of, well, some of them are either ex-military or
Well, they would know.
military.
Yeah.
So
damn the torpedoes, foolproof ahead, which is really cool. But I always thought it was like "Man the torpedo," but I don't know.
I think it must be mandatory. It's got to be a play on the phrase.
Damn you torpedoes!
How dare you,
Damn you,
sons of guns.
Oh, I've been just blowing up stuff all the time, left and right. Can't leave you alone.
Gabe, shoot me a message, or maybe I'll just text you later. I don't know. They're coming back in May to do another.
Shoot him a damn message, man. Man, the messages.
Man.
Damn it.
Anyway, that's kind of what I've been drinking recently, along with, of course, just the standards.
Mm-hmm.
I've been just going ham on some Turkey 101 recently.
Mm-hmm.
It's been my sweetness. So I don't know what that sentence means.
Okay. You're sweet on it.
Yeah.
No, I like this pick.
I do too. Yeah. Shall we talk some news?
Let's do it.
How about this first one? Lux Row is relaunching the Davies County Kentucky Straight Bourbon.
That's awesome.
It is. They're reviving it with 3 different labels. One is a 96 proof, and I believe that this is the rye bourbon. Actually, they're all 3 96 proof. Apologies. So there's the Davies County Kentucky Straight Bourbon, the Cabernet finished one, and there's also one in a French oak finish. So it's interesting. That's kind of hitting on things that, one of them really, the French oak, that's not very common anymore. I mean, there was that French oak Old Charter,
Yeah.
that Buffalo Trace did,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm trying to read and
Think?
talk at the same time. Yeah.
He's also chewing gum, and he's almost falling out of his chair because of it.
I'm patting my head and rubbing my belly.
Yeah.
And there's a dog in the room. No. So it's interesting in this day and age where we see, like these new distilleries popping up or new brands.
That was new distilleries, not nudist distilleries.
Did I say nudist?
No, but I heard
Oh.
it that way.
Oh, fair enough.
There's these nudist distilleries, and the APA is all over them.
They're all wearing the little beard.
Oh, jeez.
Beard
Just in different
things,
places.
so, but yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
boy. There's a visual.
Whew. No, but with these, new craft distilleries popping up,
Mhm.
or like we talked about last week with all the celebrity whiskey
Mm-hmm.
releases that are now becoming so popular,
Terry
it's
Bradshaw.
insane. Yeah, if you haven't listened to that episode, go back and check it out. Swan and I got at it, but I think it's kind of interesting to see old labels getting revived again. I mean, much like King of Kentucky, Cream of Kentucky,
JB Saffel,
WB Saffel.
WB Saffel, thank you.
Don't want you to get angry tweets.
Yeah. don't at me.
Old Rippy.
Yeah, Old Rippy and the other one.
The one nobody cares about. What is that one? People screaming into their phones.
Yeah. I mean, if I got up, I could go see it because I have a bottle, but I don't want to get up.
Bond and Lillard.
Bond and Lillard, yep.
I just had to look at my bourbon cabinet in my head
Bond and Lillard.
and
There
go,
you go.
what is it? Yeah. Is this a pickup for you? Any of these 3 bottles, do you think?
Depends on the price, but
Price has not been released yet.
if it's reasonable,
So
yeah, sure. Now, does it say is this their own distillate? Is this their stuff?
I
Probably wouldn't say,
have not
unless
seen
they're
that
trying to
anywhere.
like herald that fact. Like, hey, and this is our stuff too.
Yeah, I've not seen anywhere that
I would say no,
Yeah.
not yet.
they're calling it an ultra premium family.
Mm.
So I guess it's going to be kind of in the higher range. One fact I failed to look at was that it's a mixed mash bill of wheated and rye bourbons.
Oh, okay. So it's a 4-grain, or one's a wheat, one's a rye.
One's a wheat, one's rye, and then they blend them.
Oh, I see.
So it's not technically a 4-grain, but
But it has 4 grains represented
yeah,
in the bottle.
yes.
Yeah,
So it's a 4-grain blend.
4-grain blend. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Mhm.
different, interesting.
Interesting.
Of course, there's going to be I imagine that they're playing on we're going to make a flavorful, smooth bourbon. You know what I mean? Like, I imagine there's...
do they have to talk like that?
They do. They're old prospectors.
We're gonna make a smooth tasting bourbon.
There's bourbon in them there barrels. No, Lux Row is a great company.
They are Slim Pickens. If you remember the actor Slim Pickens, he had that. What in hard? I can't do it. But Slim Pickens.
Anyway,
Do you want to? Have you tried their distillery only? I think it's a 12-year.
oh no, I've not.
Do you want to?
I would love to.
Sure. Hold on.
All right, Chad's coming back here in a second. Okay, Chad's back.
Yeah.
Sorry. This is the Lux Row. What is it?
Hello.
12-year cast strength? Is that what it is?
Yeah. It's a double barrel, aged 12 years. 118.4 proof cast strength. Yes, this is a distillery only, and it's signed.
Well,
It's got a little signature on it.
who is the master distiller there?
John, Gerald, Jimmy,
Jim Bob.
I think what it is.
So
there you
he
go.
he was raised by wolves.
Yes.
But he still kept his human name. Yeah. Good stuff. Anyway, there is also, speaking of pricing, a bit of news about the newest Kentucky Owl release.
Feel that cork.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
That's a
cork.
cork, by God.
Yep.
Anyway, the new Kentucky Owl release,
Mm-hmm.
which will be called Dry State.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
So you've not heard anything about this.
No, I tend not to try to learn things.
It's part of your charm, Chad.
Yeah. That way I can act surprised when people tell me.
Sorry, I did the Macaulay Culkin face, but it's going to be in a very limited quantity, about 2,000 bottles total.
Okay.
It's got this real nice here. Let me pull up the picture of it.
So this is like in the vein of Confiscated.
In a way,
Okay.
but much more limited.
Yeah. But it's not like it's just the bourbon batch 10 or the
Right.
rye batch 4. This is
It's its own thing.
it's a new label
yeah.
in the vein of like
Yeah.
how Confiscated was.
Here we go. Check this out. So it's got a nice big old box with it.
Oh no, this is
Two.
going to be expensive.
Do you have a guess?
Well, so 2,000 bottles?
Yes.
Bottles. Is it barrel proof?
I don't know for sure.
Okay. It's in a box.
A nice looking box.
This kind of reminds me of the Abraham Lincoln
Mhm.
box. Oh, I'm gonna go high and say like 1,500.
You went too high.
Okay.
It's going to be about $1,000.
Okay. Well. All right.
Yeah.
$1,000.
So, first off, let me say, I think the bottle is beautiful. It looks
Yeah.
very old school, like pre-prohibition style. I feel like.
Yeah.
Um,
It will look great on anyone's display.
and then it will not be touched.
Yeah. No,
by
don't open
anybody.
that.
I fully support Dixon Dedman and everything he does, but there are people who are of a higher power than him that determine what the price of things is going to be. And
Right, yeah.
that is a lot of money for one box of bourbon.
Box of bourbon.
Box of bourbon. To be fair, Buffalo Trace did the same thing with Double Eagle Very Rare.
Yeah,
So
they did.
I can't say that it's just a Kentucky Owl thing.
Now, does it carry an age statement? Because with, Double Eagle Very Rare, 20-year.
So it is. I should have done this before. It is in celebration of 100 years of Kentucky Owl, in 1920 to 2020. Calls it an extremely rare blend. Okay, it is 115 proof.
Okay.
So not quite barrel proof. I assume that it was.
I mean, yeah, since it's on the money at 115,
Yeah.
I doubt that's barrel proof.
I'm not seeing an age statement anywhere.
Might be barrel entry proof. Well, but there's probably a lot of
There's a
different
bunch of blends.
barrels, so
Yeah.
that wouldn't be it.
Yeah. So information's a little scarce,
Mm.
but it's still $1,000 a bottle is a lot.
And you'll be reviewing it, and we'll wait for
And
that.
my life savings will be flushed into that. Now, I would like to try it, of course.
Of course.
Maybe we will at Whiskey Weekend.
Hey,
As to
hey.
say, we did get to try Confiscated and Batch 9 last year before they hit the market. So there's a good possibility of that
Sure, yeah.
happening. Speaking of other releases, Evan Williams has released their annual limited edition Kentucky Derby Festival bourbon bottle. It's got a green wax
Green wax.
on it this time.
That should only be reserved for ryes. Don't they know the rule?
Yeah, they're breaking them. $74.99 a bottle in 113 proof. And it was barreled in 2012. So
Okay, yeah.
8-ish,
8-ish.
maybe closer to 7.
Mm-hmm.
You and I both had last year's, correct?
Yep.
You had it with me. I brought it over, I think. Strange way. I'm really good about the phrasing today.
You are a master of your craft.
Really nailing it. I also haven't had any of this here just yet, so I need to try that.
Yeah, it's a little different.
Woo!
Yeah.
Well, you can really taste the second barrel.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like old Woodford Reserve Double Oaks.
Yes, but better. But yes, I totally, I totally get that. Like that savory barbecue type of thing, but like next level.
How much is this a bottle?
I want to say it was around $100,
Yeah.
give or take. I can't exactly remember, but it was around that $100 bill. Distillery only, comes in
Sure.
a bag, and
Nice.
yeah,
Great.
yeah.
Here's my bag.
Here's the bag.
I like that quite a bit.
Yeah,
That is
it's
tasty.
and it's also got this like, maybe even a foreshadowing of what's to come, almost like a cherry or apple like stave,
Yeah.
applewood stave
Absolutely.
type of feeling or taste or sound or feeling or what's all the smell.
You really lost me there for a hot second, but
I just started going through all the senses, and
Okay.
I was like, let's just name them all.
what were we talking about? The Evan Williams bourbon.
Yes.
I get excited for these because it's kind of a unique release. Do you think this is something that you'll pick up? or what are your general feelings towards
I think if I see it,
these?
I got last year's. I think it's really,
Mm-hmm.
really pretty bottle. And we are Evan Williams fans in this household, so I think it would be money well spent. So, if I come across it, yeah, probably. I don't know if I'd go out of my way to go get a bottle, but yeah.
I did break out the 2019 the other day, and it's quite good, man.
Yeah.
I think they did a really solid job with that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with the, or what they have done with the 2020, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So
The show.
we'll see what that is. Couple of awards. I was not expecting this. I'd like to thank the Academy.
Just to be nominated, but what am I getting, Perry?
Well, you kind of are getting this because he looks just like you.
Brent Elliott.
Brent Elliott.
Okay.
He was named the Master Distiller of the Year.
Oh, good job, Brent.
Yeah. So I think
That's awesome.
having said that,
I'm
Four
him
Roses-
and Tim Years.
Yeah.
Tim Years.
Tim Years?
Oh, boy. Funny little aside, and we'll
Yes?
get back to Brent. That's actually how one of my aliases, Tim Bourbons, came about, because I was having a bourbon night with one of my buddies. You've probably heard this before.
Yeah.
My buddy Seaton is one of the first friends I ever did bourbon nights with before, the channel was ever even a thought. And we were doing 10 or maybe even more. And we're like, how many have we gone through? And I said, 10 bourbons, but I meant to say 10 bourbons, and then that's how that was born. So,
Tim Bourbons.
my alias of Tim Bourbons.
So everybody go on next week's live of it's Bourbon Night and go, hello, Sarah. Hello, Tim Bourbons.
Hello, Tim Bourbons. Hello, I'm Tim Bourbons.
Hello.
Bill Brasky and Tim Bourbons.
Hello. Anyway, having, named Small Batch Select my best bourbon of 2019.
Right.
And really liking the Ellie from last year as well. Seeing all of the awesome innovation and everything that's going on at Four Roses right now. I think it's well deserved.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I think he's.
What'd you think
putting out-
about this year's LE?
Huh? The 2019?
Yeah. When you said last year, you meant 2019.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We're in 2020.
I know. I forget sometimes. I forget.
You're still writing 2019 on all your checks.
Who writes checks?
You do. That just said that.
Okay. I guess.
Surprise, Chad. You get an
All right.
award and you get a check.
I gotta write a check for this award that I'm getting. Apparently, I gotta buy the statue.
Everybody knows that Grammys don't go for free.
That's true.
You pay for that studio time.
Yep.
And that little gold.
Actually, something like
Thing.
advertising awards, like locally, if you win, you have to buy the statue if you want to get the statue. So,
Like the Addies?
yeah,
Really?
yeah, you gotta buy it. They're not giving that out for free. I mean, you gotta pay to enter, and then if you win, if you
You
want to
pay
take
for
that
the
home,
thing?
oh yeah, who's gonna pay for that? Them? I don't think so.
Whatever. Is there anybody that you can think of that might be more deserving of this?
Not currently, because Brent, has been there for enough time to where he's actually making a difference. Because that's the thing, like, you can't say Connell O'Driscoll, right? Because he just got there. So, like, everything that's coming out, he had nothing to do with, and he won't for several years. Yeah. With Brent, what was it, like 2016 he came around? I mean,
I think it's been longer than that.
maybe 2015. But I don't think any more than that. So even that, say it's been 5 years, even that's a short amount of time as far as like a master distiller is considered to make a difference. But, we can give him credit for the small batch select and, of course, the Elliott select that was with his first year when he was on board. So, yeah, I think he's very deserving. Yeah, I'd probably give it to him. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it that much, but
As I bring up this news to you on the spot.
yeah. Like, obviously, like, Fred No has been there forever. Jimmy and Eddie have been at Wild Turkey forever. But,
Harlan.
Harlan, yeah. But then you got to think about, the releases from past several years and what would be deserving. And I don't know. I think Brent's a good choice.
Yeah. I think they definitely hit the nail on the head with this one. And again, I'm excited to see what is going to come in the next few years from him too.
Yep.
Because he's I think he's just as excited about the brand and, where he can kind of take it as, any of the consumers are.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, for
So
sure. He's a big, in a good way, a big nerd. He loves his Bunsen beakers.
Point of
Bunsen
clarif-
burners.
Bunsen beakers. Tim Bourbons and the Bunsen beakers.
Yep.
Point of clarity. He began at Four Roses in 2005, and he was named the master distiller in 2015.
2015. Okay.
So.
Yep. So I was right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, I was right.
Well, I said 2016, 2015.
Yeah, no,
Around
I'm just messing with you. Another award?
Yes.
Best bourbon night host. I'm just kidding.
It's obviously Sarah.
You beat Sarah. Congratulations.
Hey,
Yeah.
all right.
Don't beat Sarah.
No, let's not say that sentence.
Buffalo Trace was named the American Distillery of the Year by Whiskey Magazine. Don't know about that one.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, there were two products that I really, really liked last year from Buffalo Trace.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof.
Not my favorite, but yeah, it was good.
And Stag Junior Batch
12.
12. Well, I loved 13.
I haven't cracked open 13 yet.
And I guess I'd lump in William LaRue Weller there too.
Always solid, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was very good. But otherwise, going back to a conversation we had a few weeks ago, 2019 was kind of a dud year for Buffalo Trace, I felt like.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm kind of seeing the same thing with garnering results for the upcoming Bourbon Night Awards. We use Patreon to get the top 5 because you can only post 5 options on YouTube. And then, so we get our top 5, then we put it on YouTube. And typically we see different results as to what was the number 1 choice on Patreon, as to what was the number 1 choice on YouTube. And right now for Distillery of the Year, which is a new category this year for us, Buffalo Trace appears to be in the lead. And I would imagine
Interesting.
by the time we film it, it'll still be Buffalo Trace. But it was not that on Patreon.
Peculiar.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's more of a general. It's a larger sample size with YouTube, and I do kind of think if you are, because how often do you really put a lot of thought into a poll that you're not involved with? Probably just like, oh yeah, this. So I kind of think Buffalo Trace is the obligatory go-to answer.
Sure.
It's like, oh, they're extremely popular. They put out a lot of stuff that I like. Buffalo Trace.
And I mean, they were kind of the one that everybody turned to when they were talking about what's increasing the size of the bourbon bubble in the boom.
Yeah.
Because of the way that Weller's flying off the shelf, or was flying off the shelf rather at the time, and then subsequently even all the way down to Ancient Age.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that still blows me away that Ancient Age became allocated for any period of time.
That's when things have gotten a little ridiculous. And I'm not hating on Ancient Age. I think the 90 proof is pretty solid for a 36-month-old bourbon.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that wasn't why people were buying it.
And at the same time, and I mean, I kind of know the answer to this, but why are people not buying up Benchmark? I
think we all know the answer to that.
We all do. It could be just as easily sought after as everything else.
Yeah.
But it's sitting on the shelves like Jim Beam White Label.
As it should. I don't know. I think, a lot of people might not even know that it is Buffalo Trace. But the fact that they know that Ancient Age is Buffalo Trace, I don't know.
By the way, also, we're moving into our listener samples as well. And this first one comes from Brian and Tammy Brennicky, and it's the Pursuit Series. What was the number on that? 10? 11? 10? Yeah. From the Finger Lakes Distillery.
Finger Lakes.
Where's the Finger Lakes, Chad? Is that up in...
Oh, they're up and around them there parts.
Yeah. That's
Are
what
they around Michigan? Is that Finger Lakes?
Sure.
Oh.
I'm going to say yes. Yes sounds right,
Say yes.
I guess. Please say yes. Please clap. I don't know the proof on this, so I'll look that up real quick. But the rest of this episode is just kind of going to be us chatting about these
Central
pours.
New York. Sorry.
Oh,
Central New York.
just
Finger
a bit
Lakes.
off.
Just a bit off.
Just a little bit off.
Yeah. I was north. I just wasn't east enough.
One last bit of news before we get to enjoying some pours together. Just kind of a one-note thing. Jim Beam has filled their 16th million barrel since Prohibition.
About time.
So, yeah, right?
Slackers.
Yeah. What have you been doing all this time?
Jeez.
I mean, goodness gracious. But, yeah, pretty awesome to see these popular distilleries remaining popular, I guess. But, yeah, congratulations,
That's awesome.
Jim Beam. How about this Bourbon Pursuit episode 10 thing? Pursuit series.
I like the nose a lot. Yeah, it's got a real interesting sort of fruity, sort of baking spice type of nose. Do we have proof on this?
I am pulling up some information.
Oh, that's
right
what you're
now.
looking at. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just, I decided I'd get on Facebook while you were talking. Got bored. Oh. I kind of like that.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Their first couple ones were Dickel
Dickel.
sourced. Yeah. This is not Dickel.
Nope.
It's 104.7 proof. It's a weeded mash bill. This is really quite good.
Yeah, it is.
Finger Lakes Distillery. I've not had anything from them before.
Yeah, I don't think I have either.
I guess the only New York bourbon I've had really is
Hudson?
Hudson, and we can't count Widow Jane,
Right.
because
It's Kentucky.
it's Kentucky sourced. Yeah.
Yep.
We see you. We see you, Widow
See,
Jane.
Widow Jane.
Second sip, there was a note on the front end that I can't quite
Exactly.
pinpoint.
Exactly. It's like
It's familiar, but
it has a leather quality to it.
not a leather flavor.
No. but I mean, talking about the mouthfeel, it is pretty oily.
It really is.
Mm-hmm. For a weeder, it's got this nice spice about it.
Mm-hmm. It hangs around for a long. I think the finish is quite delightful.
Mm-hmm. It's like molasses. It's like a molasses type
It is sugary.
molasses or sorghum type of flavor, I feel like.
I think I would lean a little bit more sorghum,
Mm-hmm.
but
It's pretty good.
it's the best pursuit series I've had. And that being said, I've only really had 3 or 4 of them now.
Mm-hmm.
But
I feel
out of
like
that-
they did really good stuff with the Dickel stuff, especially when you compare like the Dickel BIB
mm-hmm.
that was super divisive, which I did not enjoy in the least.
Have you revisited it since?
Yes.
Okay. Same feeling still?
Same feelings.
I don't mind it that much.
Man.
I mean, it's not my favorite by any means, but it legitimately.
I waited a good 2 months. I probably did it about 2 weeks ago on
Wow.
Patreon
Okay.
and revisited it. And people say Flintstone vitamins. That's like the number one thing that people say about that Dickel.
That's what Grease was saying.
Yeah.
For sure.
Flintstone
but-
vitamins. I don't exactly get that flavor, but it's a flavor that I don't like. But I feel like
Yeah.
Pursuit Series did some magic with the Dickel stuff that they picked.
I liked Pursuit Series 1 better than I did 2. I remember that much. I'll have to go back and revisit it. 'Cause
Yeah,
I still have.
I can't
I still
remember.
have, yeah. I still have samples of them, I believe. So I have to go back and
Oh, that's
check those
good.
out for sure.
Good stuff.
You want to bring it back to Kentucky?
Always.
with a Four Roses OBSV 107 proof 10-year 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
Also from Brian and Tammy.
Yes.
And now for something completely different.
Yeah, it's Four Roses nose. Yeah.
It is OBSV, so it's
Mm-hmm.
right up the familiar pipeline.
Yeah.
That's where it's at.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Oh. Dark cocoa ending to it. Or at least coming off of that Finger Lakes.
I was getting like carrot cake up front. Definitely that frosting that they use on carrot cake. What
Cream
is the-
cheese.
Cream cheese, thank you. Not so much on the nose. I think the nose is a little bit light, but the palate really does knock your socks off a little bit.
No, that's good.
I'm full on picking up carrot cake on this.
I can see that. Ooh, what's the proof on this?
107.
107.
Wait,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Every bit of 107.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just did a flight of 107s. I should know.
This is a very good OBSV pick.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Lots of spices in it.
Yeah. Oh, what is that finish? There's something really herbal on the finish, and I can't figure. It's kind of like Earl Grey tea,
Yeah.
almost.
It's kind of sweet, like a. Is it a peach? It's
Yeah,
got,
yeah,
it's got
exactly.
some type of
100%. That's what that is.
yeah. Nice little peach finish. That's good.
So different. It's refreshing, even.
Mm-hmm.
If I may be so bold.
Tasty.
Two. Out of the park right off the bat.
Yeah, right off the bat. Yeah.
From Brian and Tammy.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That is good.
So I thought for some reason that Joseph Brazo had sent me one cast strength and one not.
Uh-huh.
What he in fact did was sent me one cast strength regular Woodinville and one cast strength Applewood stave finished
Nice.
Woodinvilles.
Nice.
I'd like to do these side by side
Sure.
if you would be so inclined.
So bold.
If you would be so bold, Chad Perkins. It's a weird voices day on the
Weird voices
on the podcast.
day.
Yeah. I got an idea.
Mm-hmm.
As we're doing these last couple ones, why don't we go ahead and move into tips and bits?
Okay.
Because we can talk and drink bourbon at the same time, right? Do you want to go left, not finished, right, finished?
Sure.
Okay. So I know this is a bit of a quicker episode this week, but Chad and I both have stuff on, and we gotta get a move on. So, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do some tips and bits. Chad, what tips and/or bits do you have?
Well, I feel like a lot of people are clued onto this from what it appears, but Sarah and I finished Lock and Key.
Yes.
On Netflix and thoroughly enjoyed it. One of my friends read the graphic novels and actually left them with me, so I was kind of checking those out. And the show is definitely milder.
Interesting.
I would say the show is like around a PG-13.
Okay.
The graphic novels are more like an R, but if you're one of those people who's more into like the hard R stuff and you feel like this is gonna be tame, I wouldn't worry about it. It's still very engaging. There's some like relationship stuff in it. There's definitely some mystery, a lot of world building,
Nice.
a lot of suspense, a lot of mystery. And it's 10 episodes, and they're about 45, 50 minutes an episode, and I'm ready for season 2 already. I thought it was really good.
So, how much of the graphic novel have you read?
Oh, I've just really just kind of skimmed it.
How do you? Okay, when you say skimmed it, do you mean like you were able to glean most of the story, or you just weren't paying that much attention?
Just based on what I'd seen of the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a lot gorier in the comic book.
Okay, but you don't know details on like whether or not you'd be able to tell, like if there's a twist or anything by the end based on the comics.
No.
Cool.
No.
That's interesting. That you've done no research for that.
Yep.
Good deal.
But I haven't watched all the show. Watched all the show.
I really want to watch it.
Yeah, no, it's good.
It sounds fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We started watching Stumptown
Mm-hmm.
with Kobe Smulders.
Mm-hmm. You start watching it with her?
Yes, she comes
That
over.
is
She comes over all the time.
great. Is it like a running commentary?
Yeah,
She's
she.
like, in this scene.
But she does that. But she also bounces back and forth between Robin from How I Met Your Mother
Oh, that's unfortunate.
and Agent Hill from
That's
the
better.
MCU.
That's better. That's better. As you know,
You don't like
not a fan of How I Met Your Mother.
I still am not sure why.
Yeah, I know. People say that.
Oh.
And I have given it more than a fair shake.
So you just don't like it,
I just don't think the comedy is funny.
huh?
Yeah.
You don't like the relationships either, the story building, you don't get it.
I can't get past the bad comedy. Just like the bad jokes. I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm particular with my comedy.
Sure.
Like I love Scrubs. I think Scrubs
is amazing.
brilliant.
Yeah.
I love Arrested Development. You know, we've started watching Schitt's Creek finally.
Good.
Really liking that.
Oh, we can talk about Schitt's Creek.
Yeah,
Dude, I
Yeah.
love that show.
yeah. But How I Met Your Mother just falls
doesn't do it
flat.
for you.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fair.
I don't know.
It's unfortunate that you are getting into Schitt's Creek with the last season currently airing.
Oh, is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Mm.
So,
Well,
but
try to catch up.
it's so freaking funny, man.
Yeah. Now that is smart writing.
Yeah.
And same thing with like Modern Family. I think Modern Family is really smart writing. Like the way they it's sort of like Always Sunny in Philadelphia, like how things tied together and just like a lot of the I don't know, it's just smart it's just smart writing.
Sure.
That's really all I can say.
Ooh. You know what also is smart? This Woodinville cast strength,
So we're drinking the non-Applewood Stave.
the non-finished one,
non-finished.
at
one.
120.86 proof.
Yeah.
It doesn't drink like 120, I don't think.
It doesn't.
I think it's got all that flavor, but it doesn't have the alcohol heat or burn.
It sort of starts creeping up on the finish, but it is still pretty easy.
I like.
Mm-hmm.
I like a lot. And everything that I've had from Woodinville too has been good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've not it's been in limited amounts, of course, but my sample size has been
Yeah.
positive.
Yeah. Totally.
At the very least.
No, they are a distillery to keep an eye on for sure.
Fred Minnick named it what his not best whiskey of 2019, but he gave it some kind of accolade. Fred Minnick, you dog. No, I love you, Fred.
Yeah, I think it's accolade worthy.
On the second one, like with the nose, I'm not picking up as much of the applewoodiness as I normally have with this product.
You know, I don't know if it's just what we've had today or what, or if these samples are maybe from a few years ago or earlier in their life, but I think both of these taste a little bit younger than what I've had of Woodinville things. But
Really?
They might just be completely the same age as everything else.
This one tastes a little bit younger. I don't think that the first one did.
Well, I got it on the first sip of the first one. Second sip, it was gone. But That was one of the first things that creeped in my head. Like, hold on, man, this might be a little bit younger than what I'm used to tasting in a
Sure.
Woodinville.
I guess I wasn't really paying attention to the age. I can kind of get that on the finish a little bit with this one.
Mm-hmm. I mean, still really good.
Yeah.
But that's just something that kind of crept in the mind.
Again, I've not had anything bad from Woodinville.
Mm-mm. Even like their 90 proof stuff is good. Which is where you might think it might fall short just because of the lower proof. I think lower proof can show more flaws a lot of times.
Sure.
But their 90 proof stuff is pretty solid.
Why do you feel that?
What's that?
That lower proof shows more flaws?
I don't know. I feel like proof. It's the guitar analogy. If you're not completely confident in your guitar skills, drown it in distortion. Kind of hide some of those flaws.
Yeah.
I feel like proof is the distortion. Lower proof is cleaner, where the flaws will be more prevalent, and higher proof is distortion, where you can get away with some of those little mistakes not reading because it's distorted.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. I don't know if I'm 100% on board with that, though, because like with a straight out of the barrel, I feel like it is that product at its purest, and I feel like that is going to be the defining element, or the defining way that you would be able to experience that whiskey.
Well, I guess it also, I mean, I agree with your analogy.
The second half of that was the water is going to mask more of it.
See, I feel like the water brings out undesirables potentially. I think it depends on maybe on the distillery. So this is my other thing. Like Makers, not a fan of Makers 90 proof. Makers 101, hey. Makers Cast Strength, hey.
Yeah.
All
right, Fonzie.
hey.
But
Woodford,
like quiet Fonzie.
Yeah, hey. In a library, Fonzie.
It's my new character.
Yeah, in the library, Fonzie. Hey. He just hits the card catalog and it opens up. Yeah. Same thing with like
decimal system.
Woodford Reserve. Like Woodford Reserve is fine. It's fine.
Sure.
Their batch proof, I feel like, is where it shines.
Much better.
And it's just turned up Woodford. So I feel like you water it down, you proof it down. A lot of times it can hurt the product. Maybe it's showing more flaws. I don't know. I am definitely not a distiller, so I can speak to no science behind it.
Sure.
And I might be barking up the wrong tree. That is an interesting question to ask some distillers.
I guess it does make me think of, is it Four Roses that like they water it down to like 20 proof or 10 proof or something like that when they're doing all their tasting?
I think it might be 40 proof.
Okay. Yeah, no, it is 40 proof. Yeah. And they just, so I can kind of see that being useful in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I need more time with that kind of thing.
Yeah.
To figure out what it is that makes that the case.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just doesn't, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it would make sense. But at the same time, yeah, it probably does.
I don't know. And I would love to explore this topic and get into the science of it all. With distillers, they feel like there is a perfect proof to get it to, like they were doing with the birthday bourbon of last year. She just kept tasting it at different proofs until like, there it is. There's that magic proof. So I don't know.
Are you talking about the 2018?
Let's see. We were at Bourbon and Beyond. We were at the latest Bourbon and Beyond, and she was giving
Jackie was?
Yes, a talk about that. So
okay.
no,
So
it
that would
must
have been
be-
2019.
Yeah, 2019.
I guess I'm thinking about the 2018 where it had the two different proofs.
But those are like slightly different. There was like a 101 and a 10.
Oh, it was like 95.6 and
yeah,
96.8 or
Yeah.
something.
Mm-hmm. But none of the,
Unrememberable.
2019 was like
that a word?
106 proof, 107, something like that. It was over 100, and it wasn't the 101. Wasn't there
I can't
101?
remember.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's not sitting here in front of us. It's way over there. I could go get it.
Yeah, but
again,
you know what?
I don't want to stand up.
Exactly, and that would mean we would have to drink, and also it means that this
Right.
is the time where we wrap up the show
Mm-hmm.
because, like I said, we got stuff we got to do. We're busy men.
Busy week. Busy
people.
week.
It is a very busy week,
Yeah.
and I didn't say this up top, but the reason that Chad filled in, and of course, thank you, Chad, for filling in.
Mhm.
But Swan cracked a molar,
Yeah.
and so he had to go to the dentist, and then Curtis was out of town this week as well, so I was scrambling and running around like a chicken with my head cut off.
Third option.
So-
Right here,
No,
folks.
no. Second option,
Second option.
because
okay.
Curtis and Swan are lumped together as the first one.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, I got you.
Conjunctivitis. together.
Conjunctivitis. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, glad to be your second choice.
Well, you're making me feel bad, but
It's all right.
you know that I always love having you on, and
It's
everybody
all right.
loves when you're on
People
these
just can't get
episodes, too.
enough. Just can't get enough, Barry.
They're just high downloaded episodes.
Mhm.
Anyway, thank you all so much for listening this week. I like every now and then kind of lower impact, looser, get to hang out and chat
Absolutely.
and drink some stuff. So, Chad,
Mm.
you do a thing on YouTube.
I do. It's called a show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you just
it's a show.
you just set up a camera and
Yeah, just
whatever comes to mind in front of
search
you.
Show. It'll come up.
Chad show.
Chat show. It'll come up.
No, you do a bourbon show on YouTube.
Yes, it's Bourbon Night. YouTube.com/it's Bourbon Night is what we do, and we go live on Sundays.
Yes, and they can find you at It's Bourbon Night
They can.
everywhere.
Everywhere at It's Bourbon Night, Patreon, Instagram, and Twitter, and then whiskeyambitions.com.
I don't know why I set this up. Like people listening didn't know that you do this because
Well, you get new listeners all the time.
yeah, but here's the thing: a lot of my new listeners usually come from your viewers because they just are like, "Oh, this guy's he does another thing.
He does a thing.
He does a thing. Why is he here?" No, but yeah, everybody go. Of course, check out It's Bourbon Night. I'm on a few episodes
You are.
here and there.
Mm-hmm.
I need to find a special uncorking to bring over. for
Right.
us
Right.
to,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
us to do together.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not been since we did the Stag versus Weller that I did an uncorking with you guys.
Was that the last one?
Uh-huh.
Thought it was like Statesman.
No, the Statesman came out in like 2017.
Yeah. Okay. So okay. I think I'd forgotten that you were on the Weller
Well, it was Stag versus Weller.
Stag versus Weller. Yeah. Yeah, you were.
Yeah, I was there.
I can confirm. You
I
were
was
there.
sitting right where you are
Right here in the middle.
currently. So.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
But I show up on lives every now and then.
Mm-hmm. This is
Too.
true. This is true.
Past couple times I've been in a ref jersey. So
Which is what you normally wear. So it just
oh,
made
it's
sense.
my everyday garb.
It just made sense.
It's the
Normally you
smelliest
come
shirt.
over and change. We're like, no, leave it on this time. It actually fits the motif.
What do you mean? Is there a reason? Now, yeah, absolutely go check out everything that Chad and Sarah do. It's great. If you want to follow me on social media, I am at pritter1492. If you want to follow the show, it is at My Bourbon Pod on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. You can leave us a 5-star rate and review on the old iTunes podcast app, which is a great way for people to find the show if we are trying to get new listeners. So please do that. It's super easy. Takes you a couple minutes right there as you're listening. You can find all of our apparel and merchandise at bourbonshop.threadless.com. You can become a member of our Facebook group, and you just search for This Is My Bourbon Group on Facebook, and you can get in there. I've forgotten most of my plugs. This is good.
Tag out. I'll take them. I'll take them from here.
Okay, go
you
for
can become a patron by going to patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast. For as little as $1 a month, you can join in on the conversation. At the $5 level, you get the pregame chats and extras like that on there. And lastly, I'm a big dumb stupid face. My name's Perry.
Whoa, hey!
What
Oh, you really
happened?
stuck it to me there.
I went
Chad.
off script.
No, thank you all so much. Patreon is the big one, of course, because it does help keep this show going every week, every month, every year. And it's a great community. While we're recording this, well, as of recording this, tonight we're going to be doing a Patreon hangout. So that's at the $10 tier. So if that's something that you are interested in, again, patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast. And yeah, that does it for this week.
There you go.
Chad,
Yes.
thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
As not always, but as
frequent.
frequent.
My
Yes,
pleasure.
Indeed. Next week, Curtis and Swan will be back. I really think, maybe, I hope.
As long as Swan is off his meds.
As long as Swan doesn't fall and break his face open.
Yeah.
Also, congratulations, Swan. You're engaged now.
You are engaged.
Yeah, we should have talked about that up top. Anyway, all right, let's get out of here.
How do you put a ring on a swan feather?
I asked him that same exact question.
man.
He's got to wear it like a necklace,
Okay.
but on a chain.
On a chain.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Anyway, thank you all so much for listening. I'll see you next week. But until then, I'm Perry, and this is my Bourbon Podcast. Thanks. Thank you. Welcome back, everybody, to the
Dirt podcast.
It's the Swedish Chef cooking podcast.
Learning.
Oh, great idea for a podcast. Anyway, no.